Assalamu alaikum. I have had an absolute influx of messages and comments on my social media recently asking me how I came into Islam as someone who was raised Maronite Catholic. I've had this question asked to me close to 1,000 times now in the past couple weeks, so I'm gonna just put it all in this video and hope that you'll see it. Firstly, I have always had an appreciation and respect for Islam in general. I always really admired the practices that I had seen in the religion growing up with Muslim friends, but I had never had thoughts of reverting when I was younger. I guess I reached a point in my life where I no longer identified with the religion that I was a part of. When I got old enough to start to understand that I was constantly being told things about religion that didn't make sense to me, I sought my own answers. I read the Bible and I found so many contradictions and things that didn't make sense in Christianity, in Catholicism, in multiple different Bibles. And before y'all start twisting my words, I don't have a problem with Christians or Catholics. My mom's Catholic. Do your thing. I'm doing my thing. I don't care. I'm just saying for me. I saw a lot of things that did not make sense. And I'd always felt a connection to a higher power. And it always made sense to me that there was a God and there was something out there. But what I saw when I actually researched the religion, not going off the community, not going off what people had told me, but actually researched the religion, I wasn't vibing with it. It didn't make sense. And that left me in a really complicated place. Because now I'm sitting in this headspace where I'm like, well, I definitely believe in God, but not in the way that I've been taught. And a lot of these things aren't making sense to me. So where do I go from here? Now, alhamdulillah, my brother started exploring Islam before I did. This was a major factor to how I started exploring Islam. Just for clarity, my brother never forced it on me. He never told me I should revert. Nothing like that. I saw him growing and changing into the best and happiest version of himself that I had ever seen. I watched him over years grow into such an amazing and upstanding young man. I'm also blessed that I have people in my life that I am very close to that are Muslim as well. So for me, before I told anybody that I was going to start exploring Islam, I bought a Quran. I bought an English Quran. I read it cover to cover. And I didn't find any gaps. So then I read it again and again and again, and I still couldn't find any gaps. That point for me was when I was like, okay, I actually am really interested in this religion because this all makes sense. So that's when I started asking for guidance from my brother and from the other people in my life that are part of Islam. And I really wanted to start practicing Islam to see how it would help me, because it's not just about belief, it's about how you feel as well, for me personally. So I started asking around, particularly my brother. He was a massive guidance for me, and he still is to this day. The first thing that I focused on was prayer, particularly salah. So I started doing the 5 mandatory prayers as best I could each day. I don't speak fluent Arabic, so this was and still can be very difficult for me. But I got one of those mats that has the English Arabic written on it, so that when I was doing the prayer, I could read off that. Once I started praying, I saw a massive difference in the way that I was feeling and the connection that I felt. That honestly, prayer changed my life. From there, I guess I just continued to explore. I continued to research and learn. I read the hadiths, as many as I could. Anytime I had a question, I asked so many questions. And I think that is really important. Really try to truly understand the religion as best you can. Do not go off what you hear on TikTok. Do not go off what you hear on social media. Do not go off what you even hear culturally. Go off what is written in the Quran, what is written in the hadiths, and what is deemed by scholars. Religion, we see it all over the world, not just in Islam, but in every religion. It has been used as tools. It's been used as a way to oppress people, to oppress women, to tell us how we should act, what we should do. Like all of y'all in my comments telling me that I have to dress a certain way and I have to act a certain way. Actually, show me the surah that says that. So do your own research. Make sure you're taking in facts, not people's opinions or the way people think you should represent the religion. It's not about that. It's about your connection with Allah, your deen. And taking it one step at a time. My very first step into Islam was eating halal. And once I had gotten comfortable with that, then I introduced salah. Then I introduced reading a part of the Quran every day. Once I'd gotten comfortable with that, I introduced going to the mosque. It's your own journey. Nobody can tell you what pace you should take your journey at. Nobody can tell you what your journey should look like. That is strictly between you and Allah, and everything should be at your pace and when you are ready. Because this, at the end of the day, is a big decision. Islam is not just a religion. Islam is a lifestyle. Being Muslim comes down to a lifestyle. It's the best decision I made in my life, but it is a big decision, and it's important to make sure that you are ready, that you understand what you're committing to. Do what you are comfortable with, not what everybody is telling you that you should be doing. After practicing Islam for I want to say 6 months. I had been exploring for longer than 6 months, but after practicing for about 6 months, that's when I was like, you know what, I'm ready to take my Shahada. I reached out to someone I'm very close with that is Muslim and asked them to organize for me to do my Shahada at the local mosque with the sheikh. But you can organize this yourself, you can call up. Once I took my Shahada, the rest is history. Obviously, the hijab is not compulsory. I decided to put the hijab on myself because I feel closer to Allah when I wear the hijab. And as I've said in other videos, I'm not perfect. I never claim to be, but I do my best to practice Islam as well as I can. I do my very best to start every day with good intentions and think about the intentions behind my actions before I commit them. If you guys have any specific questions about reverting or anything like that, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. This, again, is just my journey with reversion. I'm not saying I'm an imam. I'm not saying I know everything about Islam. I'm just saying I did extensive research and this is the conclusion I came to. So everybody breathe in and out before you'll come for me in the comments.